And that's the story about how my own girlfriend grounded me.
Kaito, I don't know if I should feel bad for you or if I should laugh in your face. All I'll say is that you better find a way to stand up to Maki roll sooner or later.
Stand up to Maki roll? Mio, I know you're crazy, but that's one of the most absurd things you've ever said.
I usually don't say this, but I'd have to agree with Kaito. I don't want her to rip his head off, and there have been times she was very close.
Didn't I come here for some tier list or whatever? I'm not waiting around forever. Unlike some of you guys, I actually have a life.
And I thought I was bad at lying. Maybe for a small charge I could teach you a lesson or two.
Good grief. So considering school is starting back up soon, I figured we could do a school subjects tier list. I even invited a special guest to join us today.
Kaito, what do you think you're doing? Are you trying to make me laugh? Who do you even know outside of this social circle? Buzz Lightyear? Han Solo? Chewbacca? Give me a break.
Hi, everyone. I'm not interrupting anything, am I?
You're right on time, Shuichi. We were just about to start without you.
I didn't even know you were coming until like a minute ago, but this is a welcome addition. Don't you agree, Miu?
What's up, Poochie Pie? Long time no see.
It's nice to see you guys, too. I missed you. So our first school subject is art and design. This is a complicated subject because it depends on the teacher you have, really.
Art class is amazing. Whenever I was in high school, we had a nude art project. Let's just say I was the whole school's partner in that project.
If that's the case, I would have dropped out right away. I don't want to get sick, Miu.
I thought that... You know what, never mind. When I grew up, I wasn't the greatest artist, but the class was easygoing and simple in my opinion. I remember a time where I built these 3D houses, and I decided to create an entire skyscraper.
Way to go over the moon, Shuichi. Frankly, I don't have an opinion on art class since I don't have any fond memories of it. So I'll let you debate this amongst yourselves. Reach for the stars, guys.
On a serious note, art class should go into the good tier. When you aren't painting nude portraits of Miu, it can be a good time.
I can see where you are coming from, and I'll throw it in good tier. It's not top tier, but can be a good time when you make it out to be. That's what I did.
Agreed.
Now, who else had a woodworking class in their high school? I remember the time where our class was arranged into groups, and we could make whatever we wanted. So when I came up with the idea to make a wooden rocket ship, well, that turned into a total failure.
Jesus Christ. Like half of the stuff in my house was created in my lab. My spice rack, my dresser, my coat rack, it was all made with years of experience. You can credit woodshop for that. That's what we used to call it.
I never had a woodworking class, but if building Minecraft houses and using a crafting table gets me some bonus points, I actually have plenty of experience.
Sure you do, bud. You can believe that all you want, I won't stop you. Fucking nerd.
Yeah, thanks. Let's also put woodwork, or what Miu calls it, woodshop, into the good tier.
No, Shuichi, this is one of the few classes I was actually quite fond of before I dropped out. If that is what school was all about, I would have stuck it out until the end. It deserves God tier, and I won't accept any tier lower than that. If it's any lower, you won't hear the end of it.
Okay. Shuichi, we have to put it in the God tier. If we don't, Miu will be all over us for the next week.
Why aren't we talking about the fact that Miu just told us she dropped out of high school? That doesn't even make her qualified to participate in this tier list. Why is she even in this Discord call right now?
Just because I didn't take part in the clown show that is the American education system doesn't mean I haven't taken a computing class before. You can literally ask Kibo about that one.
First of all, I've taken computer classes in high school, and it was awesome. If I got done early, my computing teacher let me play cool math games. I spent hours on Papa's Pizzeria and Jelly Truck.
Well, I didn't play cool math games growing up because I was too busy actually spending time on my assignments and getting good grades. Not to be rash, but you should... You know what, never mind.
I learned some great hacking skills in my computing class. My professor told me to keep it a secret, but hey, the old man's been in the grave for 5 years.
Kokichi, we didn't ask. Besides, if you knew how to hack a computer, I know you would have hacked me already.
Maybe I have already, and you haven't figured it out yet. You're as dumb as a rock, Miu. You wouldn't know it even if it hit you square in the nose.
If you want me to show you how to hack a computer, I'll show you.
What are you talking about?
don't think we'll be hearing from Kokichi for a while.
Miu, what exactly did you do to Kokichi's computer?
Are your screws untied, Kaito? I hacked the fuck out of his computer. If he is as smart as he thinks he is, he can fix it.
Do you want to put computer class in God tier, Kaito? I don't want my computer getting hacked.
Why is that, Shuichi? You don't want me to see your folders of Latina women?
Who told you that? I mean, God tier it is.
Now, this next class I took on my own after dropping out. Let's get this over with already. Did any of you take this when you were in high school? I get the feeling that you had your heads way too far up your asses to even understand.
Miu, I don't even know what this class is about.
If Shuichi doesn't know what this CAD or CAM class is, then I don't either, unless CAM stands for camera. But I don't know much about photography either. Who do I look like? Mahiru?
Okay, I'll teach you about the class, but I don't expect you to remember that much. And I'm not repeating myself. So listen up. In computer-aided design, or shortened to...
Miu, you better watch your step. If you hack me again, I'm going to spawn a nuclear storm over your lab. Hiroshima was only a test run, to say the least.
This isn't an AI president's channel, Kokichi. What are you going on about this time? You aren't making a lot of sense.
I have connections, Kaito. Connections that you can only imagine of in the figments of your imagination. There will be a day where I show them off. So again, Miu, watch your every step.
Okay, then watch me. Wait, what the fuck happened? Why aren't the Rickrolls... I hate you so fucking much, Kokichi.
I think we should put this camera class, or whatever it is, into the terrible tier. We aren't Mahiru, so why should we bother with it?
That's what I was saying. Miu was going on about this computer design bullcrap, but I know nothing about that jazz.
Good, because you don't know anything. It would be a danger to society if you did.
Are we not going to discuss the elephant in the room? Kokichi, you just nuked Miu's house. You could have killed her.
And why should that be my concern? I'm currently in my nuclear bunker I installed for the low price of $10 million. I got some advice from Elon Musk, Barack Obama, Mr. Beast, and anyone you can think of.
Maki Roll, what are you doing here?
When you guys start bombing each other's homes, it's clear to me that you need babysat. Shuichi, I paid you good money to look after them, and this is what happens?
I'm sorry, I tried my best, Maki.
Sorry isn't going to cut it, Shuichi. Anyway, I've been listening into your tier list, and who the fuck thinks getting tutored is a class? Can we just put this in terrible tier and move on?
Yes, ma'am.
Right away, Maki Roll.
That is more like it.
Okay, you guys need to grow a backbone, because it sounds like Maki Roll is too much of a weed to stop it.
That sentence made my brain hurt. Please do me a favor and crawl out of your nuclear bunker and maybe get a job. It's not rocket science. Even Kaito understands that. What do you know?
What I do know a lot about is science, and even if Miu loses her life, her body won't be lost. It'll just transform into something more useful, like porcelain for new toilets. She was already a pile of dog shit to begin with, so that'll be a pretty easy route for Miu to go down.
My science class consisted of lots of Bill Nye, and to paraphrase the guy's science rules.
I hate to be so forward, but whoever doesn't like science doesn't know how to have fun. We had an entire class about how the water bottle flipping challenge worked. It was 2016. It was either you were into that, or you were whining about Donald Trump, so I chose the first option.
I never took any classes growing up because I had to... Well, you know what I'm talking.
You were assassinating people, Maki Roll?
You're not helping.
Science was one of my favorite classes growing up. I especially loved learning about the universe. Ask me any question, and I'll actually know a thing or two about it.
What is the furthest planet from the sun?
You see, for many years it was actually Pluto, but in 2006, the International Astronomical Union reclassified it as a dwarf planet. Following these new rules, Pluto was left as a dwarf planet and Mickey Mouse's loyal companion. So to answer your question, it's Neptune.
That's impressive, Kaito. I didn't even know that.
I gotta say I'm impressed too, Kaito. And that isn't a lie. But you know what also doesn't have its own gravitational pull? Maybe Maki may know the answer to this question.
Oh, you can go fuck yourself, Kokichi. You don't know anything about that. And if anything has a gravitational pull, it's my...
So is this another god-tier subject? Because I'm getting sick of this gravitational pull talk. You're just jealous you don't have any of your own, Kokichi.
Only in your dreams, Maki roll. But yeah, God tier sounds about right for science. If there was another tier above it, I would have put it there.
As for this next class, I'm just happy that Miu isn't here for this one.
It's apparently a combination of health, social, economic, and personal studies? I have taken a health and economics class before, but I would never fit them into one class together.
I never took an interest in health. I can recall a few topics we discussed, but it never stood out to me.
Well, for starters, Kaito obviously failed economics because I can't hear him well since he's on the top of his mountain of debt. In other news, this isn't a terrible or bad class, it just never left an impact on me.
You can say it put me to sleep, and no, I'm not talking about surgery.
Kaito, was that your attempt at a joke?
Yeah, wasn't it awesome?
Put it in the mid-tier. We are changing subjects.
What in the world is food technology? Why would we need to take that?
I don't need food technology, and I never gave a thought about it because I didn't know it was a class until today.
What does technology have to do with food? You just plant the crops, water them every day, and when they are ready to harvest, you pull them out of the ground. I learned all of that from Harvest Moon. There's nothing else to it.
Overall, this class is very useless, because it's not a cooking class where you'll be able to put the food to work. It's basically a tall nothing burger you don't need in life, unless you're someone like Ben Shapiro or Gordon Ramsay. I'm putting this class in the terrible tier.
Hello, friends. My name is Ben.
We aren't doing that today.
Yes, we are. These are classes that frankly teach you the science and technology behind food production, preparation, and distribution. Now, let's not kid ourselves. Food tech isn't just about cooking a fancy meal, okay? It's about understanding the processes that turn raw ingredients into something consumable on a massive scale, and how that impacts society, the economy, and the environment. Hypothetically—
Jesus Christ, if we put it in mid-tier, will you find something better to do, Ben? I don't know who let you in here, but do me a favor and get out of here. We'll put the godforsaken class in mid-tier, okay?
I'd rather see such a substantial and—
Good tier! That's as high as we'll go!
Hypothetically, the good tier is a well-suited ranking for classes like reading, writing, and physical education. These are all classes you'll need, but you won't exactly have fond memories of. In the 19th grade,
There. Are you happy now, Ben? I'm sorry your spin-off show was canceled, but I can't do shit about the fact you get no bitches and you're really boring.
Kokichi, isn't that a bit too much?
Thank you, Kokichi. Safe travels.
I'm not even traveling anywhere, dear Lord, give me a break. Anyway, this textile class is, well, I don't know, I never took it before.
I'm not even going to address this subject, because clearly none of us took it before. I believe we should just put it in mid, and move on.
Yep, I agree. I don't really care about that subject, and it could just be combined with another class. I'm putting it in mid, because that's what it probably is.
The next subject is environmental science, and I have great memories of this class. We even did a project where we made a presentation about different methods of renewable energy and how we could create a world using that energy source.
Why do we need to learn about that when it's much simpler? We've been drilling and fracking for years, and stooges like Al Gore aren't living in a world where the ocean waters reach the tallest mountains. It's a waste of time and a waste of my attention. It's a bad tier class in my opinion. Nothing you need to graduate high school.
Kaito, you may not be interested in environmental sciences, but the class was a great source of growth and opportunity for me growing up.
Well, you know what, Shuichi? I took the class too. I flunked it, and I never looked back. My grandpa worked in the coal mines for years, and the environment hasn't shed a tear because of it. It's not the kind of science I'd like to spend my time on unless it's out of this world.
You guys are going to carry on for hours, aren't you?
If Shuichi wants to continue with his climate fantasies, then he can feel free to ponder the topic with me for hours. It's a terrible class, and we'll be meeting a terrible future if we sacrifice our future to create a world where we live in the equivalent to the planet of the apes.
I don't know how we are going to shove that word sandwiches down our throats. I would be lying if I said I could.
It's not like I'm calling for the end of coal mining, but we have to find more renewable resources for our children's future. What about any kids you and Maki will have someday?
I'm already raising Kaito. He is the only kid I need to babysit for now.
I'm not a kid, Maki.
Okay, keep telling yourself that. You should be glad I love you, or you'd be a whimpering dog on the side of the highway.
I'd say we should put the class into the good tier. What about you, Kaito?
I wanted to put it into the bad tier, but I'm willing to compromise since it means so much to you. How about the mid tier?
Yeah, that's a good place to put it.
Do I get any input on this?
Let it go, Kokichi.
Okay, Elsa. The next class we are ranking is drama.
Every day I spend with you guys is more dramatic than something Shakespeare, Oscar Wilde, and Edgar Allan Poe came up with. This obviously goes into the terrible tier. Drama class isn't supposed to give you a brain aneurysm.
We aren't talking about this group, and without Miu, it's almost picture perfect. We got the smart guy, the tough girl, the dumbass, and the rich friend everyone mooches off of. It's a happy ending.
So much for that happy ending. You blew up someone's house, and if you step 1 foot out of line, I'm taking you to the feds.
Oh, right. I almost forgot about that. Thanks for reminding me. Anyway, drama class was always one of my favorites. I could be anyone I wanted to, from a robber, a supervillain, a vampire, member of the mafia.
Why does everything have to be so complicated with you? We get it, you're the definition of evil, and you love drama, despair, and suffering. What else is there to it?
I personally didn't care that much about drama. At the same time, I can get hooked on The Crown, Survivor, and Umbrella Academy, so I'm not complaining.
Those are drama shows, not drama classes.
If we are talking about the class, it's bad tier. If we are talking about the drama genre as a whole, it should go into the good tier.
Throw it into the mid tier. I've had my fair share of plays and recitals. Even if I played a tree in the background, or you know what, you get the gist of it. Put it in the mid tier.
Jesus.
What do you all think of English class?
After 3rd grade, what else is there to learn? When we are on the phone, we don't need to learn how to spell super Kaylee. You get what I'm talking about.
Kaito, the substance of your articulation is inscrutable to all herein.
What the fuck?
You see, when you pay attention in school, you actually learn how to one-up your friends. In the real world, for that alone, this class is God tier.
I will admit English is the most important class in school, even though in high school it's just reading long books and doing lengthy reports and tests about them. Early on, however, it's very important.
But does that make it fun? I don't think so. It's not like I remember most of it anyway.
I mean, you barely don't know how to string a sentence together to begin with. So I find that very believable.
You aren't getting what I'm saying, and you can suck my dick, Kokichi. I'm saying I remember what I learned, but I didn't have fun doing it. Overall, I'd give it good tier, but only because of how important it was.
Yeah, that sounds fine.
This is your tier list, so feel free to put these classes wherever you want.
Creo que deberíamos clasificar el francés y el español juntos. Donald Trump es Dios. Maté a Miu y estoy muy orgulloso de ello. No te importará porque no sabes lo que estoy diciendo.
Were you speaking caveman or something? I don't understand what you were saying, Kokichi. Can you repeat yourself?
You're so stupid you don't even know you're being racist.
Wait, what? How was that racist?
Forget it, Kaito. You wouldn't understand.
I'm sorry.
Je suis idiot comme Kaito, qui ne comprendra jamais l'art de parler des langues aussi magnifiques et diverses. Ce n'est qu'un mâle bêta, et de qui je plaisante. Je ne peux même pas appeler ce type un homme.
I learned a bit of French when I traveled to France touring with Kaide. Something about you being a beta male, diverse languages, and your lack of masculinity.
Sí, mi friendo Shumai.
God damn it, can we move on already? This isn't a circus, Kokichi, so stop acting like you're the ringleader.
Metterò entrambi questi argomenti al livello divino solo per questo momento. Kaito è così stupido. Come fa ad alzarsi la mattina e a sapere come respirare l'aria? Comunque, è stato divertente.
How many languages do you know how to speak?
67. If I listed them all, we would be here all day. You barely know English, so you wouldn't understand.
Nothing is wrong with geography. It's fun to learn about different cultures, places, and people. It's like every country is a different learning experience.
Shumai, you are really pulling your weight today. I have to applaud you for that. You really are a smart guy.
Thank you.
Maki and Kaito wouldn't know much about it, of course. Dear Lord, imagine Miu naming more than 3 countries on a world map for starters. Anyway, geography is always a fun time, and the teachers I had growing up always made it a great experience.
Oh, well, that's nice. I got the short end of the stick, Most of my geography tests consisted of naming like 50 countries on a map. Even on my final test, I had to name each one on a map. It was like 20% of my grade.
I had my fair share of tests and quizzes and whatever, but in hindsight, it was enjoyable. I'd have to give it good tier. It's on the cusp of God tier. We'll have to save that for the next option on our list.
One time in middle school, the whole class colored in a world map. Each country's flag was drawn on its borders, and it was shown off to the whole school. Unfortunately, I was stuck doing all the small islands, but it was still a nice experience either way.
Coloring in 30 flags for 30 countries? Doesn't seem like too much of a hassle in my opinion.
We are moving on.
Now, history. What can I say about this class? I have so many good things to say, but we'll be here all night. Where should I start?
Unlike the rest of you, I have things to do, so keep it quick.
Learning about history is about us. Not us, but learning about the events that have shaped human history. It's not some story made up by some author from his imagination. It's our story, and there is so much to learn about it.
Who doesn't love a history teacher? Even the ones that make us remember all the dates aren't half bad. It's still a class that captivated me. I even know all the presidents in order, from George Washington to Kamala Harris.
Kokichi, the current president is Joe Biden.
That is what they want you to believe. But, you know what, this is too much for you to take in. Let's just say he is too distracted playing Minecraft with Trump and Obama to care about his duties.
I don't know too much about history, but I used to be fascinated by World War II. My interest was mainly in the weapons and battles rather than the people involved. But, as you mentioned, Kokichi, it's just so captivating. Anyone can get into it.
I had a feeling you would be all about weapons and bloodshed. If I had a time machine, I would take you there. Because, well, I'd hand you over to, Mustache Man in a heartbeat.
Did you seriously just threaten to give me up to... God damn it, Kokichi?
It's the trick of the trade, Maki. You can't blame me for playing the right cards. I'm just making all of the right moves.
Can we please put history in God tier now? I want to keep talking about it, but not like this.
Agreed. It's one of the best classes on this tier list.
As for math? Oh God, give me a break. What fun is there in math class? I stopped taking it after 10th grade because it served me no purpose. Where are the finance classes at? Banking, investing? Those would all be good replacements.
Agreed. After elementary, what is it good for?
We don't even need it to begin with. My phone is a fucking calculator. No class is going to leave an imprint on my mind if it's not even fun. And when they try to make it fun, it's unrealistic.
How can a guy eat 47 out of 80 candy bars in one sitting and not get sick? You're solving a problem about math. We aren't watching 600-Pound Life. This isn't a health class.
Okay, I get it. This class goes into the bottom tier. Just hearing you guys talk about it gives me nightmares. How do you guys feel about music?
Pfft. When my music teacher retired, we went from books and lectures to an hour-long adventure on GarageBand for 2 years straight. So I'd have to give it the God tier.
My music class consisted of me performing all of these old songs with my classmates every year. It was repetitive, but it wasn't bad, even though it was very claustrophobic. I got through it.
I was able to learn the guitar and everything. My teacher was always drunk and they didn't want to go through the hassle of replacing him, so they let him stay. We got graded for showing up, and that was one of the few times I actually had an A on my report card. Turns out he overdosed a year after I graduated. Tough luck.
On that note, the good tier sounds like a suitable place to put it.
Before you get ahead of yourselves, we aren't ranking religious studies. That topic might invoke certain emotions, and unless your name is Angie Yonaga, you wouldn't care. Besides, who has taken a religious studies class in the first place?
And finally, physical education is just the bomb. You can get out, participate in all of these different sports and games, and it improves your physical health. Who doesn't love gym class?
Remember the stuff I said about 600-Pound Life? Well, I don't think I have to repeat myself again.
I was always one of the weaker links, and I often sat out of lots of the games. But it was always a good break from the more serious and perplexed classes of the day. So I'd have to give it the God tier.
I was always the strongest and toughest kid in class. You wouldn't want to face me in dodgeball. All I'd do was catch the ball and take a whole team out. It's a simple strategy as long as you think things through.
If I faced you in a dodgeball game, I'd knock all of your teeth with one hit. That'd only be the start of it.
Why are you so mean?
I'm not mean. I'm just telling you the truth. You could learn how to do that more often, but we can't have everything we want in life.
God tier it is? Well, that was fun. Kokichi may be a convicted criminal and Miu might be dead. But other than that, I'm glad I'm ungrounded and hope to see you guys again soon.
You may not make sense, but I'm looking forward to it too. Don't be afraid to call.
You'll be in a jail cell when we do, but we will. I promise.
Fine, I'll tell the truth for you. Just this once. You fucking suck.